Vag. What you gonna do when it's hot outside? Ooh, I know what. Listen to Vag. What you gonna do when the trains are down? Ooh, I know what. Listen to Vag.
And then we started. Hi guys.
I'll start off coughing.
Adrian's got a long overdue cold.
A cold. I had a sinus infection that has turned into bronchitis.
I hope it doesn't turn into anything serious.
Like pneumonia?
Yeah.
I hope not too. I did take some steroids, which I think has helped.
Oh.
So I can lift a car now.
That's great. I remember I took steroids for my lungs when I was younger.
Oh, first of all, they make you feel great.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is in there, you're like, I see why people are taking it. It just makes you feel better.
Yeah. Or like, in a way, like more confident.
I don't feel very confident, but I feel like stronger, I guess.
I remember one time when they prescribed me codeine for a cough, and I never had it before, and then you take it, and I'm like, this stuff is amazing, but basically you're just sleeping your cold away.
I think that's really what you need to do is when you're sick is just sleep a lot.
Oh, yeah. My favorite SNL commercial was called Hibernal, where Chris Farley, you take it in the beginning of the cold season, and it knocks you out for the whole 4 months.
That sounds great.
And then he wakes up with long fingernails, and they give him the Who Won the Super Bowl, and he's like, how long was I out for?
That's pretty funny.
And he's like, I feel amazing.
Well, me and Fred went to the doctor. So Fred got hit by a car last week.
Yeah. How serious was that? Because when we...
Not that serious. Like, I was like, do I not do my spot tonight?
Yeah,
like
well, how serious?
How serious of a hit was it? So where I live, well, the Bronx is also shitty, but there's like a turn where there's no light or stop sign, so people just fly through it, and he got hit. And then the guy just took off.
I feel like that it's often that I've seen that kind of interaction in New York.
Yeah. Where people, like, I remember one time I was driving and I saw this lady get hit by a car, and she was like in shock. And then she just started arguing with the guy through his window. But I was like,
while she's on the hood?
Well, she got hit like kind of by the window, and then she was in shock, and she just stood up, and then she started arguing with him. Yeah. But it was like so crazy that this guy just hit her.
Every time when I'm walking, I picture what's the best way to handle a car hit. Like, I feel like I would just kind of flop onto the hood and then hopefully roll back.
Well, I think Fred said that he leaned into it. So as not to get really fucked up.
Like Superman.
Yeah. I think kind of like turned his body so he didn't get that fucked up. But then he also had bronchitis and he has no insurance. We went.
Oh, my God.
Well, I went to my doctor and I finagled.
A 2-for-1.
Yes.
A couple.
Well, this is a doctor I've gone to for a long time, and I thought he was going to I haven't seen him in a while, and I thought he was going to have a much better bedside manner. Yeah. Usually, like, he laughs and stuff. But he didn't seem in that great of a mood. And then I said, hey, because I was willing to pay for him. We were going to pay for it. I was like...
Yeah, that's what it's called copaying.
Yes, but he had no insurance.
Okay.
But I didn't want to have to re-wait the 2 hours to go, like, for another appointment. I was like, he's already here. He's like, well, it's new management. And I was like, okay, well, he's also sick.
Yeah.
And then when he gave...
I have.
Right. And then when he gave me the medicine, I go, hey, can you just double it so he can also take some? And he was like, I'll give you 10. I don't want to know what you do with it. I was like, well, I just told you what I'm going to do with it. So I don't know. What do you think I'm going to do? Like, I just said what I was going to do. So yeah,
that's nice of your doctor to do that. He gets it.
He didn't want to, but I really had to be aggressive. That's where, like, I channeled my Jewish grandmother, and I had to be like aggressive and go,
he's gonna die, sir. And do you want that blood on your do you want that phlegm on your hands?
Well, what's funny is he always complains about how he doesn't make any money as a doctor, and I want to be like, then quit.
Yeah.
Like, the problem is he has all these kids now, which is dumb.
What can you do after? There's nothing. That's the thing that sucks about being a doctor is, like, you can't do anything else. I guess you can do medical research, maybe.
Well, he's a primary care doctor. If he was smart, he would go back to school and just become a plastic surgeon, and
That's the smartest.
And then only take insurance, only take cash, no insurance.
Yeah.
But he'd have to leave the Bronx because no one in the Bronx has money.
Yeah. Plastic surgery, you could probably make a killing, or you just do, like, specialize in lip injections and Botox.
Yeah. I used to work for this gynecologist, and once I left there, but I found out he was branching out into plastic surgery. So, like, you would go in for your GYN exam, then he'd also give you Botox and stuff.
That makes sense. I don't even think that you need to be a doctor to
give Botox.
We could give Botox as one of our tiers.
Ooh, I would, like you said, we could just learn it from a YouTube video how to give Botox.
We could. I'm sure.
I'll practice on Zuzu, and she'll have big Angelina Jolie lips.
Oh my God, I would love it. She
would
has
look
no
cute.
wrinkles.
No wrinkles. She would look so cute with some plastic surgery.
Like when she looks at you, she's just like.
She does have a little bit of jowls, which I think.
You could tighten that up.
Yeah,
with some
I could.
Botox.
We just cut a little bit of it.
If
Give her a
there's
more defined face.
therapists for dogs, for animals,
I think there are.
I don't see why you can't have a plastic surgeon for your dog.
I mean,
Isn't that crazy?
what, to have a plastic surgeon?
That the stuff that people do to themselves, they would never do to their animal.
Like what?
Plastic surgery.
I mean,
People would be like, that's animal cruelty. And then you're like, doing plastic surgery, you could categorize that as animal cruelty.
I guess. But what if your puppy has like
Like I've been
FUPA after its pregnancy and it's upset? I used to joke that my boxer kept walking around because she was
differently.
because she was like anorexic and wanted to be thin.
Yeah,
She would
had
just
low
walk around
body image.
constantly.
Because there's another dog in the.
Well, because there was
Like a
there was a
greyhound,
Rottweiler that wouldn't look at her, and she felt bad about herself. So she would just constantly walk around the house.
I think you would be a really good dog therapist. But I mean, like, it's obvious that your animal is suffering from body dysmorphia.
One time I did a show, and this guy had a pit bull, and he told me he was going to get. Did I talk about this? He told me he was going to get a gun tattooed on his stomach, and I got into a fight with a guy about something that's probably never going to happen.
Yeah.
And the person I was with was just
Was it your boyfriend that was like, why are you fighting?
he was like, don't get in these people's worlds. This is years ago.
Yeah.
And he was like, don't get in these people's worlds. And I was like so mad about it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. I can't stop this guy from getting a gun tattooed on his pit bull stomach.
I know, but honestly, like, wouldn't you think it's kind of cool to see a dog with a lot of tattoos? Like, you wouldn't want to fuck with it.
No one fucks with pit bulls anyway.
I know, but how tough would that pit bull be with a gun?
Sarah, I'm not going to say yes to this. I know that you watch comics watching dogs fight, but I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to go down this
That's my
road.
show, like driving in cars with comedians.
driving-
Mine is like watching comics watch dog fights.
I watched some of those Jerry Seinfeld's comics in cars getting coffee thing, and I think it would be better if they weren't so chopped up. Like if it was just a 20
long.
or like a 30-minute conversation about one thing. It's like they're in a car, then they're getting coffee.
I always get blue balls from that show of like, why do I want more, but I'm never going to get what I want from this show?
I know, but it's like I just want them to not veer off a conversation. You never really get to see the whole thing.
Did you watch Todd Barry's one?
No.
He doesn't talk in any of it.
Who, Todd does it?
Yeah, it's like a really awkward thing. Like, he doesn't give Jerry anything.
Well, I've done Todd's podcast.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same way.
Yeah, you talk about, like, how many miles you have on your...
Right, or what you ate for breakfast. You're like, I don't know, Todd. I just parked in a parking lot to do this. And it's going to be $50 out.
Yeah, let's think of some hypotheticals.
But that's just kind of how he is.
Yeah.
Like, he's a nice guy. He's fun-ish.
He was nice. He said he was nice on my dad's post. And so was Ted.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
What
we were like,
what are they going to
"Aw."
say?
I don't know. Nothing. But you do notice with some people, you're
That's
like, that was
true.
really sweet. I would never picture your brand being that nice.
I mean, I pictured Ted Alexander to be very nice.
Oh, definitely.
I pictured Todd to say something like, better him than me.
Yeah.
Like, that's the type of Todd Barry comment he would say where
Or
he's like,
he must have listened to your album.
I wish did he buy my album before he died? I might have kept him alive.
Yeah.
That's the type of Todd Barry things he would say.
Yeah, so he kind of broke character, which was sweet.
Yeah, he's pretty nice. He has a cat he
nice.
loves.
Yeah, so he's a good person.
I mean,
Okay,
cat people are okay.
true.
They're not like dog people.
I don't know. I don't understand this cat and dog world. I
It's
think you
Tu-
can like both.
It's Tupac Biggie. It's
I know.
That's just the way it is.
I like both, but for
you
me,
can like both, but you really don't have an opinion then if you just like both. Come on. You like dogs or cats better?
it's hard. Well, this is okay. I like dogs for the personality, but cats actually have a little bit of one. But cats are just easier to take care of.
Boo.
I know.
Boo. Boo. Cats are easier to take care of, But that's like the difference between a regular child and a special needs child.
So, yeah, dogs are special needs.
Yes. Normally, I might not love special needs children, but I do. Oh, also, I've decided that if we ever get a TV show, we're shutting Vag down.
God, you heard it first.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, Josh did go through.
And he got some more stuff that we said.
Yeah,
that's
and some of them
offensive.
were really funny.
Ooh, we could read that.
Yeah, we'll read that on the.
Is
we'll
that for bonus?
We'll do that for bonus. Thanks, Josh.
Josh is a good guy.
He's a vag historian.
He is a veg historian. We're gonna have to hire him so he could tell us the bad stuff we've said.
Yeah. Let us know if we think we should shut this down if we get a TV show.
If
I
we
said that we could restart it again, but we have to be subdued. But you're like, shut it all down.
I think we shut it all down.
Well,
Shut
I
it
know
down.
Michelle shut down her whole Twitter and started it all over again when she broke.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But then what are we going to talk about? So, like, right now, if you knew you had to say everything. So, basically, what you're saying is everything you say has to be able to be said on, like, network TV. What do you think we've even said tonight that could be on that?
Nothing.
Exactly. So, that's why the podcast will just get shut down. Luckily, we're never going to get a TV show.
So, yeah. So, it's a win.
It's a win for the listeners.
Yeah.
It's not a win for our pocket.
Unless we get so big that we don't even need a fucking TV show. I mean, wouldn't it be cool if we become the new Joe Rogans?
I mean, there's two of us, so it feels like we should
Could
be
we
able
name
to
our podcast
the
that?
new Joe Rogan experience?
Yeah.
This is the new Joe Rogan experience without Joe Rogan. We took what people love about the Joe Rogan experience
and added woman to
and then took out Joe Rogan. This is the new Joe Rogan experience without him.
Guys,
what if we do this?
We hunt and we like eating meat.
We love venison.
Yeah.
He has a really cute dog. How about this?
Yeah.
We do a podcast and we just have a poster of him in the back. Do you think that will get us on his show?
That's what we're going to name this episode is the new Joe
The
Rogan.
new Joe Rogan experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to get a cutout of him so we could have it in the back seat.
We're just going to do everything he does, but just with us.
Yes. That sounds good. And then we'll
minus the 3-hour interview.
Is that how long the interviews are?
Yeah, some of them are really long. I don't think they need to be that long, but I guess, I don't know.
I have to say this. I've never listened to Joe Rogan's podcast.
I watch his video clips on YouTube.
I've watched some of his video clips, but
Yeah.
I've never actually listened to the whole thing.
I never really listened to a lot of podcasts.
Neither do I. Have you ever...
I'm a TV watcher.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. I don't listen to any podcasts, though. I don't actually know what's going on.
I'll listen to maybe WTF, but I fast forward through Mark Maron talking because I just want to get to the interview because I want to know more about people's lives rather than...
More about Mark Maron?
Yeah. Well, his is just like, we've got these T-shirts. It's just like a lot of like what he did this weekend or...
I'm going to try and get us some sponsors.
Yeah. We need sponsors.
We're
we're supposed to find out about Patreon to get back with the 800-pound gorilla guys.
I don't think those guys are into us.
You don't think so?
You said I messed it up by mentioning rape.
No, but then he took a meeting with us afterwards, so I think everything was fine.
Wait a second. I wasn't there for that meeting.
Yeah, you were. You were on the phone.
Oh, I was on the phone for that meeting.
Yeah.
Wow, how quickly I forget.
Yeah.
But he wanted us to tell him what our numbers are.
And we don't know them.
Let's just make them up.
Actually, I looked at Apple's statistics. I didn't even know that we have whatever it's called, analytics on Apple.
Ooh.
But it doesn't seem high to me.
What does it say? Like 500,000?
No.
Just tell him it's 500,000.
I think, yeah, how are they going to find that out?
I'd be like, good luck if you could find it. We couldn't find it, so we're just making everything up. Let's just be liars about everything.
I don't see, lately I've been on this kick of like whatever Trump is doing, I'm going to do. Anytime somebody's like, that's not true, you're like, yeah, it is.
Oh, it's very true.
It's so true.
It's the most true-est thing ever.
It's sad if you don't think that's true.
What does it say about your life that you don't believe it?
Yeah.
Speaking of the Trumps, guess who I met tonight?
Oh, guys,
I had a threesome.
We can put that on the tier.
What?
Or you probably want to share that in the
I'm
general
going to share it
public,
in the general population.
Okay, so we won't put it on the
I had
tier.
my first threesome with Hillary and Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
And
she's got the photos to prove it.
I got the photos to prove it.
And tell them what you were going to ask.
I was gonna ask them. Well, after we all came, I was gonna say, did you guys kill Epstein? But I never got around to it because this Secret Service told me to get the fuck out.
Did they really?
They're like, get the fuck out of this house. Take your clothes.
Yeah, and
And,
you were
all
still
your,
like,
and your vibrator.
yeah.
Because I brought it because I knew Bill was gonna suck in the sack.
Oh yeah, he's dead down there.
Hillary has a pretty big dick though.
She does.
I preferred her dicking me down than Bill.
So she just put the strap on him while Bill played with his clit.
Well, Bill actually likes to get fucked by her with her big dildo.
Yeah, and then you just were
Actually,
there for support.
She has a big black strap on,
Yeah.
which she thinks makes it inclusive.
Oh yeah, diversity.
Diversity in the bedroom. Even though Bill was a big fan of locking up black people, they think that's how they're giving back.
They evened out with the Black Hawk in
by
the
the Black Hawk in the
threesome.
bedroom.
That's really funny.
And they even put the light on because I was like, I don't really want the light on. They said, well, we just
How are
want
you
you
going to know how diverse it is in here?
We want you to see our big black cock. And I said, thank you.
It's huge.
They said after we're going to send this to jail though after we're done.
Yeah.
That's what they said about it. It's so weird because like they were at this restaurant and there's so many things I wanted to ask them. First of all, she had no makeup on.
Also, you were just like in a random Greek restaurant.
I was in a random Greek restaurant.
A little outside of the Bronx, right?
Well, no, it was about 45 minutes. It was up in Mount Kisco.
Okay.
And they're just sitting there eating a meal. And you're like, these people have definitely murdered people. And you're like, I just want to ask them about it, but you can't bring it up in the threesome.
It's awkward foreplay. It's something that you get them after they come.
Right, or when they're about to come, you're like, hey, how many people have you murdered?
What if that was our top tier as we interview people after they come?
Or like,
so we get the most honest responses.
When their balls are empty?
Yeah.
I mean, how are we going to work that out?
They just have to jack off outside of the car. That's the new Joe Rogan experience.
That's the new Joe Rogan experience without Joe Rogan. Yes. This is the new Joe Rogan experience without Joe Rogan. Most people say they prefer it because it doesn't have Joe Rogan.
Yeah, they prefer having us.
Two women.
Yeah.
Together we have the same IQ as him.
I mean, oh yeah. I think guys would be so mad if Joe Rogan had two female hosts replace him for a week while he was on vacation.
While he was out killing all the elk.
Yeah.
And then eating elk
and
meat.
freezing it.
And freezing elk meat.
I want to see what his fridge looks like.
I'm sure everyone will be upset.
Yeah.
Do you think his because he has a huge fan base, I'm sure it has to be mixed, right? It's Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, I think it's pretty fair. I bet you he has a lot of libertarians.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, just
what
like
do libertarians do.
They're just like no government,
but they're for pedophilia.
Yeah,
right?
they're for it. That's their platform. I
gotta tell you, man, a lot of these documentaries are about pedophiles.
Oh yeah.
Did you watch The Keepers on Netflix?
Yeah, I loved it.
I haven't watched the last episode.
It got a little bit like weird twists and turns and out there theories.
Yes, and also at some point they start bringing up people into this that were like, well, he came home with blood on his hands. So now all of a sudden they think that person murdered someone.
Yeah, where you're like, I think we've lost track.
Right. Like, what if they see me after I put a tampon in? They'd be like, well, you have blood on your hands.
And you were nearby there.
We think that you might have killed this person.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I just was putting a tampon in.
I didn't murder anybody.
And they're like, but you have blood all over
Why are you covered in blood? And you're like, it's the second day.
Right. And you're like, why is it on your shoes? And you're like, because it's the second day. First of all.
Because I was using it as a pad before I found my tampon.
Exactly. Did you ever use those Diva cups?
No, I feel like it's weird. I feel like, how is that cleaner when you have to stick a whole cup into your puss? Like, I feel like I would just come out of the stall with just blood all over my hand. But I'm like, I got the cup in there. How long can you put it in there for?
I don't know. But
does it ding when it's full?
I don't know. But don't you feel like if you said it would capsize, it would be a mess?
Yeah.
Like you're just somewhere and all of a sudden there's blood everywhere?
Yeah, I don't trust it. I feel like, I don't know.
I also don't like what it feels like up there.
The cup? Have you ever done one?
No, I've never done the cup, but even look at this cute French bulldog that has an Adidas sweatsuit on.
He looks like Rocky.
Let's see if we get this lady to bring her dog over.
Probably not.
Do you not want me to do this?
No, I don't know.
Hi, lady. Hi. Can you bring your dog over here? Come on, he's so cute. We're doing a podcast.
Oh.
Now, she's Asian. I wanted to say so bad, don't eat that dog. But I wouldn't say that because that's stereotypically racist and we don't believe that.
No, but you got to get these comments in before we shut this down.
Before we shut this down,
Yeah,
it's the new Joe Rogan experience. The new experience of what is it? The new Joe experience?
The new Joe Rogan experience without Joe Rogan.
The new Jogan?
The new
Jogan
Jogan.
experience. This is the new Joe Rogan experience without Joe Rogan.
I feel like she has Asian women have such an advantage of not dealing with people. You can just be like, "Oh no."
Yeah, she pretends she didn't know what I said, but she knew what I said.
Yeah, she's in
Good for her. But she has a cute French bulldog.
Yeah,
with this little red and white Adidas tracksuit.
he was working out.
So cute.
Yeah,
Do you think like her little nieces and nephews made that outfit
probably
in China and then sent it back?
that was for a toddler.
And then they were like,
This
kid
doesn't fit, and we put 4 legs on it.
So now you have to let your dog wear it. I'm dying, guys.
We need money to save Adrian.
Don't save my life. Save that poor dog's life.
Yeah,
He doesn't know what he's into. She's
gonna eat him.
I don't think so.
No.
But you know what I've noticed though? You can tell. So I follow a lot of dog groups on a lot of social media, and anyone who owns, and I love boxers, but most boxer owners are trash. We
talked about that on the Soder one.
Yeah, they're just
because we said corgis are high class.
So are French bulldogs.
Yeah,
but
then
boxers, it's just trashville. Like you actually see their kids fucking in the background. You're like, this is how trashy this is.
Why do you think boxers are bought by?
I don't know, but they're
consider
not that
trashy?
cheap. They're at least $800 to $1,000, maybe
Yeah.
even $1,200. So I don't know, but I see a lot of them where it's just like, there's one picture I had where it's like 8 boxer puppies, and I guess they're so cute.
Yeah,
But it looks like an abandoned house.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just like, where are you raising these dogs?
do I need to call CPS on your kids because
They're
I can tell that
somewhere
they're
in the Midwest somewhere.
yeah.
It's not good.
It is true. I guess what happens is because boxers I find to be a little bit spazzier that they wreck your house.
They definitely wreck your house, and you have to have kind of a shitty house.
Yeah.
So if you're white trash, you're like, who cares? That house already looks
Yeah.
like garbage. Like, I had Morley in my house, and she ate everything, and my house was terrible.
I didn't think your house was that bad.
No, not that house. The house where I used to live.
the
with
previous one.
Under my mom's.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Also,
I don't think I've ever saw that one, but I saw the other apartment in the Bronx, and I thought
that was fine.
yeah.
No, that was fine. She was also much older then and wasn't like tearing everything apart.
They really I remember a time I was so embarrassed. I was staying at my brother's house, and I just hooked up with this guy, and then he gets into the house, and we're about 1 or 2 weeks in of kind of dating or seeing each other. And then I was so mortified because the dog went into the bathroom upstairs and took all my bloody tampons and pads and just ripped them apart on the living room.
It was your dog?
It was my brother's dog.
That's what dogs do.
Yeah. I was so embarrassed.
So I went food shopping the other day. I brought a bunch. I bought a bunch of like chopped meat and stuff, and I go back downstairs to get the stuff. I come back and Zuzu ate a package of chopped meat, like just 2 burgers. Where you're like, what are you doing?
You can't sustain that. I mean, they don't even think before they eat. You're like, you're not gonna like my dirty used tampon.
Oh no, they love dirty used tampons. They are. If anyone would go against the Diva Cup, it would be them. Because then they wouldn't have anything fun to eat through in the bathroom.
Chew.
Yeah, Marley loves all that gross stuff.
Yeah, we're like, how is this fun for you?
They don't know that it's.
Is it safe to just give them your dirty tampons to play with?
I don't think they're gonna die. I
You're
don't
like,
know
I saved so much money on dog toys.
because you're just giving them your dirty
Ask
tampons.
me how I bought this house.
I'm saying, fuck the tampon tax. I've just been giving my dog these as treats.
I've saved so much money. No, dogs will do that, like stuff that you're embarrassing me right now. Like sometimes they eat their own turds.
Zuzu's a big fan of turds. Like when we walk her, we have to make sure, because if she just gets if she just turns around for a second, she's at least getting a lick in.
You're just like, I'm sorry, she's just not getting enough turds in her diet right now.
Well,
So she's just eating
It's just like she has to shit, and then you have to pull her away from it because that's how much she wants it.
Yeah.
And she'll take a lick if she can. If she has a 2-3 seconds, she's in there.
Yeah, well, there was a Nick Swartzen joke that I always like. It's so stupid, but he was talking about how his dog has diarrhea, and this woman was like, "Well, what have you been feeding?" And he's like,
More
"Diarrhea."
That's pretty funny.
It's just like when people ask that question, you're like, "What do you think I've been feeding it?" It's just eating its food, but obviously something's going on. But it's like accusatory of like, "What? I just been feeding it diarrhea. Do you think that's it?"
I like the idea of somebody saying that and you telling them that seriously.
Yeah, earnestly. Do you think it's all the diarrhea I've been feeding it?
Remember that Nick Swartzen joke you loved where you said, like, you're getting murdered?
Oh, by a knife? And you're like,
every time
oh my God, here it comes again.
It's such a funny joke because I guess
so good. Because, like, getting shot, you're like, ugh. But, like, a knife murder, it's just like this. It's happening one more time. Like, it's over and over again. That you have to be thinking about that. Like, I've thought about that one time. I remember I went to Costa Rica, and they were like, you should be more afraid of alligators or crocodiles rather than sharks, because a shark will bite you and then be like, that's not what I want, and then moves on, where an alligator will thrash you around in the water. And the idea of you being on the beach while I'm being thrashed around in the water, being like this, oh my God, Adrian, it's happening again. Just like being rolled around.
I'd be like, I'm gonna I'm gonna get this on the Patreon. I'm gonna get you dying on the Patreon. It's gonna be a top tier. It's gonna be the $8 tier.
Like, it's not a really fancy way of dying. Like, at least when you're shot, you're like, oh my God. But like, yeah, being murdered or like death in that way, you're just like, this is horrific.
Yeah, what would you think if we added a tier where somebody paid us $100 and they get to be in the car while we tape a podcast?
I would do it.
If somebody would want to do that. And I guess we could do a portion where we talk to them also. Or they could just sit back there and jerk off the whole time while we're up here.
Just don't tell us. And then we ask you questions after you come.
Because we want to get your most honest answers.
Yeah. That's what they should do for terrorists.
Jerk them off. And then be like, who did you?
That's my tactic. I've been jerking them off. They've been telling me all their secrets.
I know where their ISIS really is.
And then some, like secrets that doesn't even have anything to do with this.
That'd be great if like they're holding you and they want all this information. You're like, well, I work a little bit differently, and they just start jerking them off.
As soon as they come, they tell me everything.
And they're like, well, how come when you were doing that, you didn't just take their gun and shoot them? And you're like, well, I work a little differently.
Let's just
I have a different process.
I
want them to
I'm a little bit of a
go.
maverick.
I want them to let me go.
I love that idea. I've always thought that, I was thinking of this as a bit, but it's probably kind of hacky, but like, I feel like white women, if we would not make great terrorists because we would tell you all of our secrets if we're just mildly uncomfortable.
I don't think that's hacky.
Just being like, all they have to do is just make it like 55 degrees in the room, and I'm like, what do you want to know? I'll give you all the information.
I think you should do it as a joke.
I'll try it.
See what happens.
It is.
Go nuts.
Go nuts.
Who cares? At this
If it
point,
bombs, I'll just do it in an accent and then yell and repeat the punchline.
I saw a joke that I did many, many years ago, and they just released a Mitch Hedberg like Conan set where you're like, why'd you release this? Now there's a joke I can't do anymore.
That's so annoying. What joke was it?
I had a joke about how dictators always kill in even numbers. And do you think there's somebody standing there with like a baseball thing counting people coming in?
Yeah.
And his joke was about, I don't know. He said something like,
he did have like 10,000 jokes.
Yeah, but he said something like, they got 80. I don't remember the joke, but it was like a numbers joke where he's like, they got 80,000. He's like, can you imagine? Isn't that crazy? They got 80,000 even.
Yeah.
So you're like, well, there goes a joke that it's like, hey man, you're dead. Stop putting this stuff out. Now I've lost another joke.
Yeah, that is frustrating. It's so weird. today, it was just an observation, and I'm not taking credit of this, and I am aware that Mitch Hedberg has this joke about something about, like, at least escalators, when they're broken, they turn into stairs. But all I was saying, I just tweeted because I was just like, I just thought, you know how you approach an escalator and you realize that it's just stairs, all of a sudden you're like this doing, like it seems jarring or almost where you're like, ugh, gross. I just tweeted that out and somebody was like, they were trying to call me out as if I stole that as a Mitch Hedberg joke. And I'm like, no, I'm fully aware that he has this as a bit. I was just making an observation, and my observation is different than
I know,
his.
but you can't have any, like, even when people were attacking me for that stupid fucking, that joke that I had from Letterman, everyone's like, you stole this from.
What joke?
Did I tell you this?
No.
I don't, maybe me and you hadn't talked, but Ari reposted my joke about calling in sick to work.
Okay.
And they're like, your dad, and I'm like, my dad died, and I was like, my dad died 5 years ago, but I didn't say
People
when he died.
grieving. Yeah.
I just said, yeah, I don't. And then somebody's like, Bobby Lee did this joke on a podcast. Everyone is calling me a joke thief under Ari's thread.
Yeah. That's fine. You know what? That pushes you up.
I know, but it was bothering me because everyone's calling me a joke thief.
Well, you don't want to be called a joke thief. It hurts.
First of all, a joke thief where they said he said this on a podcast. Do you know when he said it on the podcast?
Years after you did your joke.
No. It was like last year.
Yeah.
So I did that joke on Letterman, 7 years ago?
Yeah.
And the joke's at least 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So then Ari posts that. People don't then say, well, maybe he stole it from her. They just drop it.
I know.
But I'm supposed to have known a joke he said on a podcast.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so crazy where you're like, hey, man, think about this rationally. Do you think I'm sitting down and listening to a Bobby Lee joke on a podcast and then going back in time and doing it on Letterman?
Yeah.
But then when people are confronted with that, they don't go, well, maybe he stole it from her. It's just automatically, because I was talking to like Nikki and Liz about this because I was like upset about it. I'm like, these people calling me a joke thief when this is 10 years old.
And it was a personal experience that happened from you.
Whatever, but also people are like, Bobby Lee said this on a podcast. I'm like, do you think comics are listening to other comics' podcasts?
We don't even listen really to our sets a lot of the time.
No. So it's so crazy, though, that when it was the other way, nobody then was like, well, maybe he took it from... Even though I don't think he did, but nobody did the reverse of it.
No, and they never do. And that's like with other stories of like people that get called like a pedophile or a rapist, and then they're like, sorry. When they retract, everyone just sticks to what their the first accusation was.
Well, what's interesting, I was talking to Liz about it, and then I was talking to Nikki, too, and they were just saying, like, as a woman, I think people just attack you more. Do you think that's true?
I do.
I do think you're
I don't like playing the woman card, but there are things that I feel like we get called for vocal frying, and I can name a lot of male comics that vocal fry that I never see get as many comments that we do.
Vocal fry,
also,
automatically.
Who cares?
Right. Automatically, it's like, it's not your joke. And you're like, why?
Yeah.
I just think it is easier to take women down. I don't know. And like I was talking to Marlene about it, our manager, and she was like, no, I don't think that's what it is. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Nikki and Liz have had a lot more viral videos. And they're like, all these comments are like, you're ugly. Like stuff that doesn't even have to do with comedy.
Well, I remember one time I went to go watch Bonnie McFarlane run an hour at the Creek a few years ago during the New York Comedy Fest.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, I think she took some questions because there were some like fans there. And one guy asked, she had her shirt half tucked in and half tucked out. And he goes, can I just ask why you have that? What is he going to get from that response? It was just to make her feel dumb for a choice that she made for fashion. There was no reason to ask that question. He purposely did that to make her feel like justify one little decision in fashion because they always think we're frivolous in that department. I've seen Nikki posted her wearing high-cut jeans, and she gets so much hate from guys wearing, like, when she wears high-cut jeans. I also remember having holes in my jeans, and this guy, obviously it annoyed him that I bought jeans with holes in them, where I was like, why do you care? I don't give a shit about anything that you do.
I know, but it's just weird when you're putting a joke up. And it's like, some of the comments, like Liz was telling me this, people will be like, you're ugly. You're like, that has nothing to do with this.
I know.
Like, Roseanne Barr was atrocious looking.
Yeah.
It's just weird. And she's not
You're
ugly.
like, yeah, that's why I got into stand-up.
But she's also really pretty, so it's weird to...
Yes.
say that.
Yeah.
It has no. So it's like, what's the point of doing that? You're just trying to take somebody down or make them feel shitty.
Yeah, I think 'cause I don't know. My theory is I think there are, not all, but I think there are a big chunk of guys that don't like funny females. Like
I guess
it
so.
bothers them.
But it's like, don't listen to us. A ton of people are not listening to us. Just be one.
Join the club. I don't care. But I do have to say, like, it's funny when those guys post stuff like that, you're like, hey, you only push me up that feed longer.
Yeah, they don't realize they're doing that.
No, and there was a fashion company recently that had runway models of white men wearing cornrow wigs.
Okay.
And it was Commas des Garçons, which is a French fashion company that's actually pretty popular. It's very pricey. And I was like,
heard of it.
I know. I'm like, the only reason why they did that is because this becomes viral and it pushes you. And then you check out their website and then you're like, actually, they have a lot of cute stuff.
So it's smart. What you're saying is we should do stuff like that. Well, people will be
You
outraged.
should be doing your sets in cornrow wigs.
Ooh, not a bad idea.
Because then people you're like, it gets them so mad and they have to share it because it makes other people mad. And then you're like, you're broadening us to a more listenership.
That is true. People don't realize by hating you and writing nasty. Because Liz even said that. She's like, I don't even delete any of those comments because it just makes more people say it.
Yeah. And then you get people being like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, which then adds another thread that also engages. And then Instagram is like, we're just trying to sell ads. So this is all we need.
Liz Mila, very funny. She had this
very smart too.
Very
She's
smart,
so good about her career.
Had this hold on, let me see if I can find it now. She had two people arguing on her Facebook thread or some YouTube comment or something.
Yeah.
Where the one guy thought that the other guy was sticking up for her.
There's our boy.
Oh my God, it's the famous Greg Stone.
It's Party Boy Greg Stone.
It's Party Boy Greg Stone.
Oh. Hey, Vag listeners. This is
Thank
Greg
you.
Stone here.
Greg Stone, do you have some words of wisdom for our listeners?
Yeah. Oh, you can't hear. I just.
Oh,
I heard your fart.
I wish you guys could smell it on the top tier.
Ooh. No, we don't have a
Oh, you
guest.
guessed?
Yeah, we'll take a guess.
We'll
do you
take
want
a
to do
guess.
15 minutes?
We'll do, yeah.
Were you guys just recording?
Yeah.
We're recording, but come on, we're almost done. How's your kidney stone?
I think I might.
Did
have
you
something
pass it?
worse than a kidney stone. We don't know what's happening.
AIDS?
I gotta go. I might have AIDS.
Ooh.
That's
Party
just been
boy.
working. I got working AIDS for the past 20 years.
Good for
High
you.
functioning AIDS.
High functioning
I'm a
AIDS.
High-functioning AIDS human. Nothing. I wish I didn't go. You
No
guys are
pressure.
great. No,
Do
there's
you-
no pressure. All right, can I jump in the back of the car?
Jump in the back of the car. Let us finish this one, and you
finish? Oh,
you
no,
you
I'm gonna
can
go home.
you can jump in. We're just gonna say goodbye.
You gonna say goodbye?
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
guys.
I'm going to bed.
Do you want to do it or not, Greg Stone?
You don't have to.
You don't have to, but if you want to, we'll do a short 15 one.
All right, let's do it.
All right,
Okay.
guys. Thanks for listening. We're going to do a special episode.
A very special Greg Stone. And then you can tell us what his medical thing is.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks for listening. Join our Patreon. Listen to us. Do
Badge
whatever.
podcast at Gmail.
Badge, badge, badge. What you gonna do when it's hot outside?